Good afternoon or morning, depending on the case. Uh, I'm going to give you guys 9 tips on how to give the best speech to make your levels. And I've heard a lot about, of what should and shouldn't be done when you give a speech. And public speaking, guys, is a very it's an art form. It's a way to express yourself in a good manner, an appropriate manner, in a respectful manner. You're almost giving speeches in an interview per se, I always give speeches when I do my teaching as a teacher. So hopefully by the end of this you'll have a better understanding about how to give a good speech when it comes time to passing our levels. So these are my 9 tips. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just kind of a way that I've learned in the past that really helps me when I have to give a speech to either my colleagues or to my students or whatever the case may be, or even now with Snagit. So the first one is pay close attention to your rate of speech. Uh, a lot of times what happens is that you go so fast that you want to get off the stage as soon as possible. You want to get off that podium as soon as possible. Why? Because you're in the spotlight. So paying a close attention to your rate of speech really is going to help you, make the points that you need to make and not get overwhelmed. If and when your speech either goes too long or goes too short. So keep an eye on that. Number 2 is pay close attention to your body language. Now, guys, you don't see me looking at you for obvious reasons while we're in class, but your body language has a great deal to do with how your speech is going to go. If you're just sitting there all slouchy and not caring about the way that you're standing or sitting when you're doing something, it becomes a distraction. In a lot of ways, if you're holding your card when you're doing your speech and you're holding your card way down by your waist and you're just kind of reading it word for word, your body language looks down. It points down to the floor, and you don't want that. You want your shoulders broad. You want your voice to echo in the room. And you want to speak to the last person in the room, and the farthest person that's away from you in the room. So you need to pay attention to that body language, because if you don't, you're just going to be pushing. It's kind of like putting a speaker to the floor. The noise just goes into the floor and not out into the audience. You also want to pay very close attention to your hands when you're speaking. That those Italians, they move the arms and the hands, and before you know it, you're taking off like a helicopter. You need to be very, very aware of how your hands are, the way your body is. You want to sit up straight. You want to stand tall. You want to, make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do so that that last person in the room, the farthest away, can hear you just fine. Okay. Number 3 is kind of goes with body language, but you want to make sure that you make eye contact with your audience. You want to make sure that you're talking to, like me with teaching, is you want to make sure that every single student sees me as a person and not just a teacher. And the way that you do that is by making eye contact with them. And you don't want to focus on just one side of the room. You don't want to focus on just one person. Unless they're your only audience. You want to make sure that you're not staring at them, that you're blinking, but you're having a conversation with everyone. So please make sure that you make eye contact with everyone in your audience and not just the one person that you're looking at. All right, and that's really important as well. And this will also help you to focus more on your body language as well when you're making eye contact. All right, so number 4 is one of the most important. Is you got to practice, guys. You got to know your material. All right, until you can't get it wrong. You want to memorize the main points. this I want to caution you on is because you're not writing a speech. You're not writing it word for word. You don't want to stand up at a podium and read your speech word for word. That's not a speech. That's a report that you're doing in class orally. You're literally looking at, the second you look at a speech, you're not making a speech. Okay, your speech comes from your heart, it comes from your soul, it comes from your mind, it comes from all aspects, including what's on your index cards. The index cards and the PowerPoints and the bullets forms that you're going to perform are all about the practice. It's all about reminding you of doing the things that you need to do. These 9 points, these 9 tips are all bullet points for me to talk to you about. I don't have things written down word for word. It's not a speech then. It's a report. And a lot of times people get that mixed up. So please practice, okay? But make sure that you know and memorize the bullet points, not just you don't want to make it word for word. Number 5 talks about making your speech in a mirror. It also talks about a camera, but I know in your circumstance right now that can't really happen. But you're going to make your speech in a mirror. Make sure that you know exactly what it is that your audience is going to see. That is really important moving forward, because you don't want to look at people go ahead and they critique you. You can have your friends critique you if you wish, but no one critiques me worse than I do. So make sure that your speech is, that you do your speech, you do it in a mirror. Make sure that you get your eye contact and your body language down. Make sure that you're not slouching. Make sure that you're portraying your voice in a very slow, a very clear, a very concise manner. So doing that in front of a speech will really help you get those ideas down. The next one talks about knowing who your audience is. All right, and when you talk to counselors and you talk to teachers and so forth, they're going to critique you. So you need to know who your audience is. Now, you can't do anything about them being bored. You can't do anything about them not wanting to be there. You know who your audience is, and if they're bored, so be it. You're doing exactly what you need to do. I don't let my students make me feel bad when I did a really good lesson and I don't get any satisfaction out of it because some of you slept or you weren't having a good day or whatever. I don't take that personally, and neither should you. You need to know who your audience is, and if you nail the speech, it doesn't matter what other people think. Okay, but knowing who your audience is very important. The next one talks about focusing on the topic rather than the performance. Be vested in your topic, which means have some passion for what you're talking about. Guys, you're talking about yourselves in beta. You're talking about making your lives better, making your situations better. There's nothing bigger than you being and trying to make your levels and do the things that you need to do. Focusing on the topic rather than the performance. It really is, the most important thing here. You want to focus on that topic. You want to know that topic backwards and forwards, okay? Because once you know the topic, you're not going to need to memorize anything, okay? Be vested in that topic and understand it. You don't want a topic that you're not going to believe in. You want that topic to be valuable to you so that you can be passionate about it, okay? It's really as simple as saying if your favorite color isn't pink, then you shouldn't be passionate about it. It's that same idea. You want to be passionate and vested in your topic. Okay? Number 8, you guys don't have a heck of a lot of control over, but I would seriously consider thinking about your appearance. Combing your hair, making sure that you get a shower, making sure that hygiene's taken care of, making sure that you're vested in your topic, but you're also thinking about what the audience is looking at when they're with you. Okay, so it's really important that you guys understand that you take that into consideration. Okay, and finally, number 9. This is important. Probably the most important thing that I never do or have a hard time doing is take a breath. Focusing on perfection will make you fail. All right, give the best speech that you can give, but you can control all of these things here, except for the idea of making your speech and knowing what to give as a topic. And focusing on that perfection will make you fail. You don't want to focus on perfection. You want to focus on your performance and doing the best that you can by being vested in your topic. All right, and practicing and making eye contact and paying attention to your body language and not slouching. All right, and pay close attention to how fast that you make your speech. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working on. You guys are going to go ahead and take all the things that you need to do with beta, and you're going to be practicing with me your speeches when your levels are up. And that's going to be the focus of attention. And here and there, we're going to do some, here or there, we're going to do some speeches ourselves. But for right now, that's what we're going to be focusing on. So make sure that you guys make your speeches and you start writing your speeches, and let me know if I can help. Okay?